Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is the Tribal Education Department's National Assembly Native Youth Community Project Standing Core Meeting. Today's date is December 21st, 2016. The time is 11:08 a.m. Central Standard Time. My name is Julian Guerrero, Project Director for TEDNA NYCP 2015. And if you could, today's meeting, we're going to follow a few things through the agenda. The agenda itself is available in two ways if you've already received it via email, or it's available on the TEDNA website. If you go to TEDNA, hover above the About tab, and then hover above the Native Youth Community Project, and then slide over to Meetings. From there, you'll see a list of previous meetings and their recordings, videos, as well as today's agenda for December 21st. So, good morning. Thank you everybody for joining us. We have both contractors as well as TED directors, as well as other key personnel and staff with joining us this morning. So I appreciate you guys joining. And just to get introductions through really quick, I know we already introduced ourselves a little bit. If you could, in the same order, just say your name and where you're from, and we'll go from there. So roll call, just one more time, please. Thank you.
Michael Skokomish, Tuaru Culture and Research Institute.
Academic Development Institute.
Norma Bixby, Northern Cheyenne.
Bernadette Anderson, ADI.
Carrie Whitlow, Shinarapo Tribe.
Tom Brown, Read Write Systems.
Patricia Stone, Absentee Shawnee Tribe.
Wonderful. And then we have Sydney Wakini taking minutes for us today. So appreciate you guys. In the agenda, you'll see under Executive Director Update, Quentin notified me this morning that he's not able to join us for today's call, but possibly in the latter part of it, he might join in, and we'll give him time to speak, of course. But just going into my Project Director updates, there's today's meeting I wanted to put in ahead of schedule, save the dates for certain things that I think all core team members need to be aware of. The first is there's an upcoming specialist group working days. There's 2 days that the specialists will be doing some group work. That is December 29th and December 30th. Next Thursday and Friday, we'll be meeting for both 2-hour sessions to really, it's multifaceted in the sense that we'll be going over the ACT Engage custom items with some helpful insight through Kevin Houchin for about 30 minutes for any questions or so on and so forth. We're looking at taking those custom items and adding them on to the our current version of the ACT Engage site administration, and add on to the value of what ACT Engage surveys bring to the project for the completion of our objectives. Looking past, we'll spend about an hour doing that with ACT Engage. Then we'll spend the latter half of the second hour on Thursday looking at the transition between Schedule B and Schedule C. I can't believe it, but October 1 is already well behind us, and we're fixing to head into the new year. That being said, we'll be exiting the first quarter and entering the second quarter of the 2017 fiscal year for the program. That being said, there's a slew of things going on, one of which currently, most of our schools are in winter session already, so we have a lot of time to work on planning and getting things ready for the start of the new semester for a lot of our schools. So those are some working days, December 29th to December 30th. Those are both from 10 a.m. to noon, both days, 10 a.m. to noon, Central Standard Time. And any and every core team member is welcome. It's only mandatory for the specialists and or other support staff to be able to be a part of this conversation. But for any core member, you're more than welcome to join us on those days, just to listen in and key in. It's going to be similar to those planning sessions that I believe Bernadette, Mark, Michael, Norma, you guys are familiar. You kind of just dropped in a little bit, said a little something, and then had to go. So you're more than welcome to do the same on those days. Moving to item 3B, TEDNA NYCP annual partners meeting. This will be our yearly annual partners meeting. Similar, it's pretty much the same format as our original 2016 face-to-face meeting. Can't believe it, but it's already been a year. It's fixing to already be a year since that meeting. So now it's the annual partners meeting. That'll take place January 19th, 2017, and that is a Thursday. Just to be aware for traveling. And I know that a lot of folks need an agenda of some sort in order to start your travel requests. So working on that agenda, I have a draft agenda that I can send by the end of this week to everybody. And you can use that as a placeholder for at least that day. So I know that
Sorry, where will the meeting be held at?
that meeting will be at the same place. It'll be the Oklahoma Public School Resource Center building. That is
Okay.
309 Northwest 13th Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73103. Yeah, thank you for that question. So I know I said that one was Thursday. Here's another date. The next day, that Friday, we're looking to do what we're calling so far as a TEDNA statewide NYCP conference. That'll be January 20th, 2017, that very next day on that Friday. What we're looking to do is to invite any and all other NYCP recipients who have received the same grant as ours, but are recipients in Oklahoma. So there are other NYCP recipients to the north and northwest and the southeast of us relative to Oklahoma City and TEDNA NYCP 2015. We want to invite them to come look at our program, see kind of the resources that we're taking advantage of, and showcase a lot of our successes in both a quantitative and qualitative manner. I think that and also it's purposed to also be to take a leadership role amongst all the other NYCPs to say, we're pretty serious about collaborating and opening and trying to develop this sense of community amongst multiple grantees, no matter the geographic bounds that we're all bound to. So that is Thursday and Friday, January 19th and January 20th. Each day has their own separate agenda. That Thursday is the one for our program, TEDNA NYCP 2015. That's all of us. That's our face-to-face, the annual partners meeting. But the Friday is kind of more broad and opened up for more of the showcasing and the bringing in outside stakeholders and outside participants for that Friday. So just to be mindful and aware of those. And I'm sure you're curious on what each of those days look like. Once again, I do have draft agendas, and I'll be sending those out end of this week for you guys to take a look at. 3D, the summary of the 37th Annual OC Conference in Catoosa, Oklahoma. It was great. It was a wonderful 2-day conference. We walked into some workshops, got to see a lot of the different Indian education staff across the state, and a lot of valuable insight that we were able to take note of and possibly also incorporate into our implementation. It overall, it was a great visit and good program to attend and get more information and learn about what's going on for Indian education in Oklahoma in particular. So item 3E, the next invoice deadline will be this next Tuesday. That's December 27th, 2016. I'll be doing the last drawdown of the calendar year on that 28th. So the 27th is the deadline for any sort of invoice submissions, and each of the tribal partners have already sent me invoices with some other explanations as to things that I might need to review for them. So we're currently in the process of getting those done. If you've already submitted, thank you. If not, please make sure to be mindful of that and let your finance know to submit those. So wanted to touch base real quick on returning to Schedule C. It's not here on the agenda, but just wanted to say real quick that once again, Schedule C is expected to be at least sent out in draft form December 29th. And I look forward to what that looks like. We're bringing in a bunch of different upgrades and improvements and changes, modifications, and we're also carrying over some activities. And I think it'll be a good summary of the first quarter, as well as what we look to do in terms of the practical sense for the second quarter. So I appreciate everybody. And that being said, I'm going to go ahead and move into Section 4, core member topics and feedback. And if I'm just going to go down the list here, A through J. First, starting with our Tribal Education Department Directors, Absentee Shawnee Tribe. Good morning. Any topics or feedback you'd like to bring up for us?
I reviewed our new MOU with Tecumseh, and I think it looks great. I know it's different than the one that we initially had, so I thank you for the work and the extras that were added into it, because I think it looked really good. So, really just, kind of learning a little bit more about the tribe and how we're doing things here, and hopefully we'll get some feedback from Tecumseh on what we're doing, what we're going to be doing with them, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for that. And we're also working on an MOU to get those absentee Shawnee students from the after-school program involved as well. So if you don't see anything pretty soon, just kind of send a reminder to us. That way we can. Okay. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, Cheyenne Arapaho Tribes.
Are you wanting an update?
Oh, no, just if you have any comments or questions, not necessarily an update.
Oh, no, not right now, I don't.
Okay. Thank you, KK. Next, Northern Cheyenne Tribe.
Well, I think I let everybody know that Liberty resigned. She didn't want to, but she felt she didn't have any choice. We just got a new tribal administration who appointed a new board, and she couldn't work with some of the appointees, and so she made a decision to resign. So we have John Bach, who's in the superintendent. He was the principal and now the superintendent, acting until one is hired. So he'll be overseeing the grant and taking over for Liberty. I knew of the meeting today, but I don't think he was able to get on. I haven't been over there yet. My daughter passed away, and so I've been in and out of the office for a couple of weeks there. So I've kind of lost touch with what's going on over there since Liberty resigned. So I'm planning to make a trip over there to see what's going on and if he needs any help. And our person that we hired resigned. So we have applications are open again, and the deadline is the 22nd. We have possible 2 applicants. One does work at the school and really interested in taking over that position. And then the other is a young lady who's interested in, she has a master's, or working on her master's, and is wanting to get into the school system. So 2 good candidates. tomorrow's the deadline, so as soon as I get those applications, we'll get the interviews started, and hopefully we'll have a person by at least by the first of the year.
Wonderful.
So,
wow.
that's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, well, my condolence, to of course you and your family for the loss and so on and so forth. And I did I did forget to invite John Bach and to send him an email, so I'll make sure to include him on the next list,
All right.
the next batch of emails. John Bach. All right. And if you still do have time tomorrow, Thursday, I'd love to just get a one-on-one and kind of just catch up on a few things and give a heads up your way. And we want to do everything we can to support you, obviously, and support the program there.
I'll run over there and see if I can find some time with him.
Okay, sure.
To up on what's going on at the school.
Yeah, and in that dialogue, I'll probably bring Michael with me and Quentin if they're both available. So I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. All right, Muskogee Creek Nation. I don't believe Courtney is with us this morning. However, she also had lost her father as well not too long ago. So our condolences to her family and to her through the time. So Section 4B, Dr. Michael Pavel, Tuwaduke Cultural Center.
Wow, I'm just really right now in a space of humility, hearing about the loss in our communities. And Norma, let me also echo the sentiments of Julian and offer just a moment of quiet. You know, more than ever, if anybody knows, I'm really humbled by the Creator, and particularly over the last couple of years, and I think how precious life is, and all those that mean anything to any and all of us. And so important just to take a breath out in our busy days for them. You know, the evaluation in and itself is going well because we're seeing every side of anything under any circumstances transpire in TEDNA NYCP 2015. Any and everything that could possibly go well is anything that possibly is challenging us to prove our worth and our obedience to being of service to our children, our families, and communities is happening. It's all good. That's a full spectrum of life. In this year, we're dedicating ourselves to really pull together the data in the database and to manage that data in such a way that we can easily analyze it and report on it to convey this compelling story that's transpiring, that we're involved in, that's part of our lives, to really give justice to our children and to their families and our communities. And things are going so well there. I think Julian and Quinn have provided a kind of leadership so that we have those support services in place to be able to carry that out. And we're looking forward to working with Steve Kapler of SK Consulting in terms of developing that database and giving ourselves a chance to do it in such a way we set ourselves up for success, i.e., by the end of September 2017, we're going to have one of the most sophisticated databases in the nation, attending to the college and career readiness of Native children, really reflecting that it's going to borrow upon the things we're already doing well and using those to improve upon what we want to do. And it's impressive to note that we have just an incredible array of resource partners that are just so willing and capable, and certainly at providing every impetus for that to happen. Every resource partner providing critical data that, when assembled, represents a comprehensive view of college and career readiness for American Indian children that never been done before. And my conversations with resource partners in that regard is everything you would hope. Their willingness, their receptivity, their leadership, and the kind of data that they can provide, the kind of services and support they would like to provide, and even wanting to take it a little bit further. And I could spend just hours on hours telling you about each one, but I just want to. I know we don't have enough time, but I just want to let you know that. Every resource partner wanted to provide what they already signed up for, and then being able to do just a little bit more, to stretch it just a little bit more, because they're so deeply committed to this project. And I think that's in front of us, and I do want to let you know that we're thankful that with the organizational capacity comes to kind of supports for that, and we have people there wanting to there at TEDNA Central wanting to provide the kind of management support for this all to happen. I know that's all in generalities, but I think in the interest of time, I don't want to get too much into the detail, other than let you know, again, coming full circle to the evaluation, that we are firming up our intention to create a comprehensive database that manages all the data collected as part of TEDNA NYCP 2015 in such a way that it represents one of the most comprehensive databases to better understand college and career readiness for our Native children, their families, and communities. I'd like to pause for a little bit and see if anybody has any questions about that agenda and that intention for the coming year. Julian, is there anything else that you would like me to share with regards to that, or anything else that's going on?
No, I'm good on my end. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me just open it up to everybody else. Is there anything that anybody wants to ask, or any questions that are out there? Again, in the interest of time, I point to each one of you, but I'll continually reach out to each of you in such a way that it's convenient to your time. The only way that this is going to work, if it works within your schedule, and it takes advantage of the kind of things that you're already doing, so we don't double up on what you're already doing really quite well. Thank you, Julian, for allowing me the time just to share a few thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Preble. Okay, we have, moving on to 4C, Dr. D Tadlock with Read-Write Systems, however, proxy, Mr. Tom Brown.
Thank you, Julian. I'm pleased to represent Read-Write and support the team from that perspective, but I like Michael, am humbled by the fragility of life, and my heart goes out to you, Norma, for your loss. It reminds us of how important family is and what we have to do to support family. And I'm really sorry that you've had to go through this very challenging experience. On the NYCP front, we're ready to begin tutoring. We'll do whatever we can to make that happen. On your front, Norma, I'm presuming I would start out talking to John Bach. If it's better that I talk to you, please let me know. Julian, given the working days on the 29th and the 30th, do you see any part of those meetings where I or Dee should participate to help you with that?
This is John Bach. I just entered the phone call. Sorry, I wasn't aware that this was happening. So I kind of missed everything that was said.
Hi, John. This is Norma. I just gave a little brief update on on Loverty resigning, and I really didn't have any idea what was going on at the school, and I was going to take some time to go visit with you. So I'm glad you're on.
Yeah, it's like I'm just trying to catch up as moving over here and taking over for her, but yeah, I do want this TEDNA grant to keep going strong and want to improve it the best I can. So yeah, I'm glad I'm here. Yeah, other than me taking over as superintendent temporarily here, my bigger issue is that the person that we had applied for the position to coordinate that job has resigned and not taking the position. So we're trying to fill that position with a great go-getter type of a person, and that I think is our biggest issue right now.
John, this is Tom Brown with ReadWrite, and I'll pose this question to Norma because it seemed germane. Norma, do you? It looks to me like we're in a position to start tutoring in January. It had gone quite a ways, but given all the changes on site of the travel school, I'm wondering if that is a practical thing to do.
Well, I think, John, we've already set up the tutoring, haven't we, for ReadWrite? We've got a classroom and we have students.
Yeah, we have the computer set up. We have students ready to start. So I think that we're about ready to implement it.
Well, then,
yeah, I think we're ready. We have our second semester starting January 16th, and I was looking at that as kind of like an outside, but even when the students come back on January 3rd, we can start to try to get things in place to have it happen. And I was hoping, yeah, the read-write and the structure of all of our of that TEDNA class to be stabilized and going smoothly by January 16th. So yeah, I'm hoping to start right away in the new year.
Thank you, John. I'll follow up with D Tadlock to support you on that.
Okay, good.
John, this is Michael Pavel with the external evaluator for the project. Would love to give you a call and have an informal or formal conversation to offer you whatever insight I can, look at where we were and a good reference and find out where you thought we might be at Northern Cheyenne. Do you have my cell phone number, John?
No, I could use that. Yeah.
Please do. 360-490-0561.
Okay. And what was your name again?
Michael Pavel. Spelled P as in Paul. A V as in Victor. E-L.
Okay. All right.
Give me a call when
compliance.
In for you, okay?
Sure, I'll be here all day tomorrow. And would that be a good time to call?
Absolutely. You just feel free to give me a call, and if it's not, then we'll find the time. But I'll pick up and I'll answer you. You'll find that this is the kind of culture we've created for TEDNA NYCP 2015. So please. I'm going to go ahead and go on mute. I have a bad echo on this, and so thank you, John.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Julian, this is Norma. Maybe tomorrow, John, if I could come over, if you give me a time, we could call Julian and Michael together.
Sure. Yeah, I have tomorrow open. Today's kind of going to be hectic, but I have most any time tomorrow open.
Okay, so I could come over tomorrow and we could tag with Julian and Michael maybe in a call, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sounds great.
Yes, whatever's convenient for you, Norma. Just let me know, and I'll build my schedule around that.
Okay. John, should we set a time for what? 10?
Sure. Yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning sounds good.
Okay. I'll be over at 10 o'clock.
10 Mountain, that would be 9 Pacific, 11 Central. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good to me. I'll be available then.
All right. Do you want to set up a conference call, Julian?
Yeah, I'll send that invitation to everyone, and then it'll have that conference call number and the code.
Mm-hmm. Real quickly, I want to point out, I'm observing different phenomena that occur that I think we can learn from. There are lessons learned. There's circumstances that not only are faced by Northern Trans, but others within our partnership, and that's the transition of superintendent. I really want to capture that story. I think there's a lot of lessons we can learn in terms of maintaining stability for these and other programs that other programs throughout the nation can benefit from. And so I just want to put that out there for all of our community to hear. We can learn from these circumstances, and they're not unusual. These are actually quite regular occurrences in our efforts to educate Indian students across the nation. So with that, thank you very much. I look forward to our conversation tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it too.
Then thank you for that, Norma. I appreciate that the information, and thank you, Mr. Bach, for joining us. I know I said to the group earlier I completely overlooked sending you an invitation. I don't know if I've had your email before, but I'm assuming it's your first name dot last name at nctsk12.com.
Yeah, there's no dot in between it, so it's just all one word, JOHNBACH at nctsk12.com.
Okay. All right. Well, any and all future correspondence will go to that email for you.
Okay, great.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you coming. Okay, just for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and run into our next one. Tom, was that all for you? I assume that was
Julian, who did you invite?
Was that the end of your? I know you were talking last. Was that the end of your?
No, that's the only piece that I might have left is it was that question about the upcoming specialist work days. Is there anything that Rewrite or I personally could do to support you on that?
Possibly come in on Friday. So if you could drop in on Friday and just be available to us.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Next, we have 4D, Bernadette Anderson and Mark Williams. Welcome. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, it's Bernadette. Well, I just will add that I sent you this morning, Julian, the lesson planning that we did the last month or in October, or no, I guess it was in November. I hope I captured all the ideas and all the processes that we talked about and strategies. So hopefully, once you guys have time to look at it and react to it, then we can, discuss further, make modifications or things like that. There are some other planning elements that I think need, maybe to accompany that in terms of, we really didn't get into like the parent night specifically in terms of what that's actually going to look like. And we've had a lot of ideas. And so they're integrated into the lesson plan itself to generate those ideas from the kids to kind of help with planning. But I wasn't really sure how far, because you can keep planning and planning. And so how far deep you wanted to get into that. But so take a look at it. And then when you guys have a chance, we can meet and talk a little bit. I'm going to be on vacation next week, so I'm not going to be able to join you. But anytime after that, we can connect after the new year.
Okay. So we'll probably spend some of that Friday. I'll go ahead and disseminate to the group. Any other things you want me to disseminate, please let me know, and I'll do such that I'll include that in that dissemination. But I'll review it myself, and we'll kind of look over it. And I appreciate you being mindful of that parent engagement. That's something that I think we could really hone in on, especially seeing some of the experiences we had with the Cheyenne Arapaho College Career Readiness Night. So I appreciate that. And Mark, I know you're online with us too. You're welcome to provide some commentary for us.
Thank you, Julian, and I echo the sentiments of all on the call and the moments of silence for Norma and the loss of her family in this special season. Remembrance of the greatness of the Creator and the gift of life and redemption is key to our thoughts. So thank you, Michael and Tom, for that. And want to just again thank Bernadette for her work in November. It's our privilege to be part of this project. Special thanks to Michael for reaching out for ongoing conversations about ways we can assist in collecting the right kind of data that will be helpful for ongoing evaluation. And Julian, at the first convenient time, that we could put a call together with you and Quentin and Michael and Bernadette. We'd like to talk a little bit about what we might do in terms of developing a survey instrument. But that's for the future, but would like to put that call together soon.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And thank you, Bernadette, for both you and Mark for being able to put all that together for us. We'll definitely review that. And for you, Bernadette, I wish you safe travels for your vacation, and I hope it's a well-rested vacation for you. So moving on to 4E, Kevin Houchin, Steve Kapler with ACT/SK Consulting. I don't believe I have either one joining us today. Michael, would you like to say a little something on behalf of them?
Always, and let me, as a nice little segue, encourage us to really take advantage of that amazing work that Bernadette put together. I've reviewed it, extremely helpful, and also about the incredible role that ADI can play in the overall vision of capturing this incredible story. Well, that's the same with ACT and their partnership with SK Consulting. I have a call set up to meet with online with Steve, talking about the skeletal structure of the database, and this is going to figure prominently with what's already being collected by ACT, and then to blend it with what is being collected or can be collected by the resource partners. And for us to be able to do that in partnership with Sydney, who's going to take on a role of not only helping to provide ground level support in what you call data coordinating for each of the sites, maybe not just for Oklahoma, but for all four. And at the same time, really realize that we're looking at capturing a very complete story, not with just the quantitative data, but with the qualitative and with the visual and the voices that are going to be all important to really share what's transpired, what will transpire, what will continue to sustain long after this grant funding ends, if it ever does. I think this kind of program that will attract additional support, and that's how critical all of what we're saying right now is. People want to see what's going on, know that the investment they make is making a difference, and that's exactly what all the resource partners are committed to, and that's the kind of conversation I'm going to be having with ACT and with Steve Kapler of SK Consulting next week, and I strongly encourage you to set up that meeting with Mark and Bernadette and yourself and Quentin for us to really flesh that out with regard to ADI as well. Now that goes without saying. It's an impressive array of data that we can collect with ReadWrite, and whatever we can do to institute those programs and begin to accumulate that data, all the better. They have it built into their service delivery. That's what they do, is to monitor the acquisition of skill development and talent that students get from being immersed in ReadWrite. So as a matter of course, what we're learning from ACT and Steve Kapler is exactly what we're learning from the other resource partners as well. And I look forward to setting up future meetings with them. So that's all for now, Julian. I look forward to catching everybody up with what transpires next week, okay?
All right. Thank you for that. Next, we have 4F, Jerome Tosi with Native Innovations. I don't think he's with us this morning. 4G, Mr. Arash Hoda, Khan Academy video series production. I'll provide a little update for Arash. We're moving into the very far latter half of the video series production. We're in those final stages of review. We're incorporating some really nice touches, and he's been an exceptional partner for us. And looking at being not only innovative with the resources, but also, just really practical with the budget too. And we're not able to do much in terms of funding the video series, but he was able to take what little we could give and make a great production out of it. So we appreciate his work. We're constantly going back and forth on critique and review, and he's been open through that entire process. And as we enter these enter the final I don't know how many finals you could say, but final stage of the cut itself will disseminate to all the partners, and you can look at these videos and before we publicize to the rest of the public. So we appreciate him and his work. So 4H, Matthew Campbell from the American Rights Fund. I don't really have any updates for NARF other than I'll be getting with and in touch with them on scheduling Indian education code trainings. I was thinking about making a third day, stretching out the partners meeting on the Thursday and Friday. That was a little heavy, so we might just pick another day. These will be trainings one will be in Oklahoma and one will be in Montana for our site up there. So not
great. Let me add to that. Oh, I'm sorry, Julian. I wanted to provide you with an update. I'm going to actually be talking with Melody at the beginning of the year. So as we approach these trainings, we set ourselves up in a way that we can collect the kind of data that really conveys exactly the impact that NARF has with their education code training. And for us all at the table right now, all sitting in a circle, it's incredibly important in its cultivation of a culture where everyone believes that Native youth are college and career ready capable of becoming college and career ready. And whether they have established codes or thinking about it or want to move forward to it, the overall process that's involved in developing education code mirrors exactly what the federal government is looking for in terms of the kind of objective they hope that all programs need to have, and that's increasing the collaborative around college and career readiness activities. So Julian, I want to let you know I'm involved in that conversation, Melanie, as we speak, and we look forward to connecting at the beginning of the year to map that out and working with you and Sydney and others to capture what transpires in that education code training and what it contributes to creating a culture where everyone believes that American Indian children are capable of becoming college and career ready. Okay?
Thank you for that. Yeah, NARF is really a great partner, and they want to take forward a lot of those objectives, and I appreciate their work. And if it weren't for NARF, we would not be in the situation that we are now. So always appreciative of their long-term advocacy. So next for Matt Higdon with Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education. He's making himself available to us on Thursday and Friday for both of those statewide days for our annual partners meeting, as well as the Friday for the statewide NYCP meeting. So he'll have a slew of updates and things to present and information to give. And, he's definitely been involved and interwoven into our implementation. He helps out when he can, and he, often gives us a greater sense of networking throughout the state. And we appreciate his help in our efforts. So opening up to the rest of guests who are present but not listed in the agenda. 4J, anybody who would like to provide any commentary who's not listed? Okay, hearing none. Final thoughts. Usually we give this to Quentin Romanos. I don't believe he's joined us this morning. Quentin, are you here? I don't think he's with us this morning. Okay. That being said, just final thoughts overall. We're, we're exiting our 2016 calendar year. We've already exited 3 months ago our 2016 federal fiscal year. And we're just entering not only the new 2017 calendar year, but the winter session throughout all of our schools, and kind of looking at what's happened to all of us as a group. We each and all have our things going on in our lives, and for some it's been loss of family. For our program, it's been loss of staff and uh, personnel that are related to the implementation of the program. But one thing is for certain, we always remain mindful of their contribution and their lasting impact for our program. And it puts us, any and all contributions put us in a better situation for year two's implementation. So I appreciate everybody's hard work, good work, no matter how big or how small. I always, want to give you recognition and credit your participation. And I know saying a thank you is just not enough, and I can only say it so many times, but I just want to reach out and wish each of you well. Our next standing core meeting will be January 4th, 2017. Once again, that's 11 to 12 Central Time. We're coming 5 minutes to a close of the hour. I just also wanted to extend my wishes and say, TEDNA NYCP, the program wishes everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And that being said, if there's any closing thoughts or comments, you're more than welcome. But if not, we are adjourned at 11:54. Thank you, everybody.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Thanks. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.